So what does being vulnerable mean to you?
Just kind of just being open and just being, letting someone in behind like what they see every day, you know? I think that's kind of vulnerable. Like, I can identify this about that person because they let me know that, you know? I think that shows vulnerability in a sense.
Do you think people think of you as being like a vulnerable person or not really?
I don't know, I think it depends who you ask. I mean, I guess someone that may listen to my music may know things about me just through music only, and that's, I guess, a certain amount of vulnerability, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, but then when, I guess, if you were to ask like my girl, she'd probably say I'm not vulnerable enough, you know? But yeah, I guess it depends on the perspective whether you ask really. But
Yeah.
I think I'm a good balance of both, I would think.
Yeah. If you were to ask like your friends, like other guy friends, for example.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find it easier to be like open like that with other guys than you do with like people you're dating or like just random strangers? What's easier for you?
I don't know. I wouldn't say one's easier, but I think it's more comfortable trying to relate the way you feel to someone that is that's maybe like the same sex that could see things the same way, you know? Sometimes explaining how you feel to someone that's of the opposite sex, they'll never understand or feel or see it the way I guess you can kind of see it sometimes.
Yeah.
So like maybe explaining it to your other like guy friends or whatever, they're able to get it maybe quicker and like, oh yeah, I know where you're coming from because a situation like that happened to me and I know exactly how you're feeling. But like when you're talking to a girl or explaining it to a woman, she may have gone through that same situation, but maybe on the opposite side of where that guy is coming from. So it's hard to really see it from your perspective.
Yeah, like putting yourself in somebody else's place is harder.
It's a little bit harder to be empathetic, but sometimes there's situations where like you're able to be empathetic where it's better received when you're talking to a woman. So it really depends, you know. So that's a situation.
Yeah. In terms of like you being in like the music industry, do you feel like there's certain expectations that are like attached to how people see you as like a musician? In terms of like how tough you are, like how vulnerable you are, like that kind of stuff, do you feel like that's accurate?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't think I come off as a tough guy or anything like that. Like, so, you know, I think I'm just me, and like, people either rock with me or they don't, you know. So, I think there's a great amount of vulnerability in just being yourself too, you know, sometimes. So.
How do you do that? How do you live that every day, like being yourself? Is it something you've had to grow into, or is it something you've always kind of just like done for yourself?
I think it was something that like I had to grow into being comfortable doing, because I think I've always kind of done it. But you don't always get like the best reception from just doing you know? Or like, yeah, so I guess nowadays things are just more accepting, or people are just more accepting for just doing them. So I think that helped with me being comfortable with it, but I think I've always kind of just, you know, just kind of went to my own drum, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, so now it's just more accepted, I feel like. Yeah.
What are like some things that make you feel more vulnerable than others? Like, is it like the music portion, obviously like you're kind of putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
But apart from music, is there any areas that you have a tendency to kind of go to that place where you feel like more insecure about something, or like more, I don't know, unsure about wanting to talk about certain things with other people?
I think like maybe like family life and I don't know, a lot of my friends are like beginning to start their families and like either getting married, are married,
Yeah.
have children. You know, I guess those type of talks are kind of those are vulnerable talks, you know, because it's something that like I can't really add to the conversation. I can just listen, you know, as a onlooker in a sense, you know, and yeah, it's different because like I see it from my point of view and they see it from their point of view, and yeah, you just kind of like I kind of wonder why like it's like that, you know, it's getting too vulnerable.
Yeah. It changes like your perspective because everyone has like different things they're going through at different times.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't really contribute in the same way as if you're talking about like math class when you're in school with your friends.
Yeah, you know, just something very like minuscule in comparison to like, you know, what's really going on right now. But yeah, I think it's just those talks really open up some things. Like maybe it's like something deep rooted. I don't know.
Yeah, like something you didn't know you wanted or didn't want, or like it makes you kind of experience certain things you haven't experienced yet through other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you were to like create these questions, like if you had to like reflect on that, what kind of things would you have wanted to know about this topic in general from someone else?
I guess like how do people identify that they're vulnerable in an area that like they don't notice for themselves, like, you know?
Because if you're just used to being open about certain things, then it doesn't feel like you're being vulnerable. It just feels like you're being yourself.
Yeah.
Versus like what might be vulnerable to you might not be vulnerable to somebody else.
Yeah.
How would you approach like the subject of like vulnerability with a guy that would be younger? Like if you were to like give advice to someone who's kind of struggling with how to express themselves with other people or how to connect with other people, how would you tell them to do that?
I think what helped me anyways was like writing how I feel, like, because like I'm the type of person that I might not speak until I'm spoken to, or like, you know what I mean? It's not that I'm mute or like I don't talk. I just sometimes just like, well, I don't really like, I don't feel the need for like a small talk. So if we're not gonna be talking about anything substantial, if I don't have anything to say that's gonna add any sort of like substance, then I don't really say anything, you know? So sometimes it's just better to like write it out, you know? I think that's kind of where I started doing music, really. You know?
Just by kind of writing how you're feeling down and just like whatever was in your head?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I guess, yeah, pretty much.
So just kind of finding an outlet, basically.
That's it, yeah.
For
just finding an outlet. Mine happened to be like writing and then translating into like, you know, like music or whatever, but it could be drawing, it could be, you know, anything. It could be like hitting a punching bag.
Would you say like you've become more open about how you talk about your experiences with people since you started writing and like putting things down like that?
Yeah, I would say so, because like every song is just like another like a practice run at being able to express yourself, you know, in one form or another. So as you write and, you know, perform these songs multiple times, you know, you I guess you get more comfortable being able to express that. So I think that it helps, you know, it gets easier.
Do you find that there's a big difference for you between like performing live and how open you are with your music that way versus like when you're recording in a studio and you're just by yourself or with your friends doing that?
I guess it's a different energy, you know, so it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not like, I haven't like performed a time or a song where like it was so like personal to me that like, you know, I was moved to like, you know, like cry or anything like that, you know, but maybe it'll happen. You never know.